Vamos à aula número 2 sobre visão e ilusões da visão. Adoro essa matéria. Vamos lá. Vision and visual illusions. Eyes provide the brain with the visual image of the environment. The basic function of the eye is to collect light rays reflected from an object, in this case here my computer. Use the lens to focus these rays into an image on a screen, the retina, and convert this image into electrical signals, which are then sent via the optic nerves to the brain. Okay, anterior chamber, lens, pupil, iris, cornea, retina. Let's go, fovea. Look at your own pace. Structure of the eye. Cornea is a transparent cap over the lens through which light rays first pass. Iris. Between the cornea and the lens is a colored membrane known as the iris. Mine is green. And the center of the iris is a small round aperture known as the pupil. The pupil changes its size to restrict the amount of light enter the lens. Lens like the cornea. The lens is transparent to light, but we change its shape with the ciliary muscles surrounding it, allowing us to focus the light's ray. Middle-aged people have a reduced focusing capability. Reading glasses are usually necessary. This condition is known as presbyopia. Structure of the eye. Let's keep going. Retina is a light-sensitive layer located at the back of the eye. The retina contains two types of light-sensitive or photosensitive cells called cones and rods. Important to us pilots. Cones are concentrated around the central section of the retina, especially the foveal region directly opposite the lens. The foveal region is where the focus most objects, and it is this area of the retina that provides our central color vision in good light conditions. All right, so we usually use the cones to capture colored vision, but let's check the rods. Rods are concentrated in a band outside the central foveal area. Rods are effective in both daylight and darkness and responsible for our peripheral vision, off-center vision, which helps our orientation at night. However, in dim light, are therefore most easily noticed when their image falls somewhere on the peripheral area of the retina where the rods are concentrated. So if you want to try to see even better, try to use your peripheral vision during nighttime. You're gonna even night flying usually use red lights as well. Vision, binocular vision. Describe the process where optical information is received and processed from two eyes. So we have 2 points. We get our information. The natural tendency is for the eye to focus somewhere in the range of 1 to 2 meters. This condition is known as empty field myopia. When you see people like this, you're doing empty field myopia. But the thing about just coming back to the binocular vision is because we capture 2 different point of views and we kind of get them together. So yes, it can have a different impression of what you're seeing because you're capturing 2 different images and trying to get them together. Light from a particular object, especially a near one, will enter each eye a slightly different angle, causing the image formed by each eye to be different. This is called stereopsis. Hard this one. Stereopsis. It's this tendency you get in 2 points of views. Vision defects. With normal vision, the lens focuses an inverted image of an object on the rear of the eyeball, the retina. Since good eyesight is essential for safe flight, professional assistance is required whenever there is a problem. Short-sighted, myopia. A person might see near objects clearly, but distant objects, which require less focusing, might be blurred. Poor distance vision caused by short-sighted can be corrected by using an artificial concave lens to reduce the overall refraction of the light rays. Long-sightedness, hyperopia or hypermetropia occurs when the eye is relaxed and the cornea and the lens do not focus the rays from an object before they reach the retina. The point of focus of the rays is beyond the retina. Long-sighted hyperopia can be corrected by using an artificial convex lens to increase the overall refraction of the light rays so they focus earlier. Vision defects, astigmatism, occurs when the curvature of the cornea and the lens formature that of the lens is not perfectly round. It can be corrected by a lens which has varying curvature over its surface. Protection of vision. When flying to a rising or setting sun or above cloud layers, the pilot is exposed to very high intensity light from all angles. In condition of glare, it is advisable to protect your eyes by using high quality sunglasses that reduce glare but not your vision acuity. Polarized sunglasses may produce some areas with total loss of vision. When landing towards the sun, you're facing the sun, 100% of your vision is lost at the moment of flare. Even when the sun is 4 degrees to the side, vision is reduced by 42%. All right, let's talk a little bit more about empty field myopia. When trying to reach for other aircraft in an empty sky, the natural tendency of a resting eye is to focus at about 2 meters. Consequently, distant aircraft may not be noticed. You should focus on any available distant object, such as a cloud or a landmark, to lengthen your focus. Specks are dust particles, scratches, or insects on the windscreen. Might be mistaken for distant airplanes. Very technical. Specks. Use that on your carrier exam. Oh boy, your examiner is not going to even know that. Visual illusions sometimes can be perceived in your brain. What we think we see, it's not actual because images sent from the eyes can sometimes be misinterpreted by the brain. Environmental perspective. From birth, we develop the mental model that anything we see that is indistinct and far away, and anything that is clear is closer. It is not always so, as atmospheric conditions alter visibility. This can cause pilots to incorrectly judge distance on approach or from mountains. Haze. In haze conditions, you may be closer to the runway than you appear to be. This can lead you to an unnecessarily hard landing. So be aware when it's like a hazy day. Judgment of distance and angles. An airplane on approach through heavy rain can sometimes experience quite a buildup of water on the windscreen. This reflects light rays on their way to the pilot's eye, perhaps causing an illusion like the bend of the bent stick. Knowledge of this can be some protection for the pilot. You know who has a very good knowledge about this bend of the lights when you have lights on the windscreen? The Indians, when they go for fishing on the water, they know they can throw their spear exactly where they see the fishes. You gotta, you know, the light ray bent a little bit, so you know it's a little bit off. Just they throw the spear a little bit off. Sloping layer of cloud by day. Angle lines on the ground or areas of light by night can sometimes present a pilot with a false horizon. Visual illusion in circuit. A pilot flying a right circuit may get the impression that the aircraft is higher than normal. It works satisfactorily from more typical left circuits could lead a pilot to descend lower to achieve the same picture when making right circuits. Like most habits, such a practice could happen unconsciously. So we have a picture here. So yes, so see the horizon is reduced when you look into the right side. So yes, so yeah, you should do it differently, but usually we do circuits for the same from the same side. That's the habit. Visual illusions on approach. I just love this part. Runway slope. Most runways are of standard width in flat ground. On every approach, you should try to achieve the same flight path angle to the horizon. When approaching a sloping runway, however, the perspective will be different. A runway that slopes upwards will look longer and you'll feel that you are high on slope when in fact you're right on the slope. The tendency will be for you to go slower or make a shallower approach. A shallow angle approach. A runway that slopes downward will look shorter and you will feel that you are low when in fact you're on the correct path. The tendency will be for you to go higher and make a steeper angle of approach. See, that's the point. We're used to the level ground, but when you have looks like you have more runway when it's upsloping. Yeah, that's correct. See, when you have downwards runway, we have an illusion. We tend to make a more shallower approach. And here, when it's upsloping, we have the tendency to get too steep on our approach. Runway size. A runway that is wider than the usual will appear to be closer than it really is. Conversely, a runway that's narrower than usual will appear to be further away than it really is. The night approach. A powered approach is preferred. Power gives the pilot more precise control, a lower rate of descent and shallower approach path. The approach to the aim point should be stabilized as early as possible. Constant speed, path, altitude, thrust, and configuration. Right? So here, clearly took from a book. As you can see the lightning. So yes, you don't have other references besides the runways, lights. You kind of get, you lose your visual cues. And for the instance, for the very end, we're talking about the black hole. I like this phenomenon. Flying an approach to a runway with no other visible references can often be difficult. Occurs when approaching the runway on a dark night, where the only lights visible are the runway edge lights. With no towns or street lights to be seen, and no indication of the nature of the surrounding terrain. Black hole approaches also occurs on tropical atolls, at remote desert airfields, and on approaches to runways that are surrounded by water. The tendency is for you to think that you are higher than you really are, result in an urge to fly down and fly a shallower approach, to sink in the abyss, the black hole. You do have as well the white hole, but this is snowy daylights, same problem. You don't have references, you don't have visual cues, all right? See the black hole here? Well, the black hole, you kind of, it's very hard to fly during nighttime, huh? You don't have reference, it's hard to see. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching class. I'm happy to be here again. Espero que tenham gostado da aula. Eu adoro esses temas de ilusões, eu acho maravilhoso. Acho uma coisa que a gente tem que ficar muito atento e saber mesmo que a gente acha que a gente está confiando na nossa visão ali, mas na verdade nós estamos tendo impressões equivocadas nossas, ou seja, a gente está acreditando na nossa visão, mas a nossa visão está, na verdade, pregando uma peça na gente. Até o próximo vídeo. Tchau, tchau.